Hey guys, James here at TCGU University, coming back at you with another deck profile. Today, on Ken. Shout out to Rochester CCG. This week we were doing Budget Beast. Shout out to Michael for coming up with the name for that one. So we're doing a little collab this week with the Rochester CCG. All of our decks are budget decks. They're under $50. I believe both of mine were under $30, which was even cooler to me. If you guys want to check out these decks, if you guys are interested in buying them, they're going to be one-click buys on either the Rochester site or in the link below if there is one. I'm not 100% sure how Tim and them are trying to do this. I do the other half of the stuff. So they worked this out. They figured out what they want. So either there's going to be a one-click buy on the Rochester store, or there's going to be a link that takes you to the one-click buy from our description down below. But look out for that. So let's get into this Kin deck, guys. 21 with All Fire and Void. His two abilities are E, remove the top two cards of your deck. Your printed 4 or higher difficulty attack gets +1 speed and +3 damage for each attack removed this way. So you get rid of the top 2 cards of your deck, and then if they're attacks, you get plus damage and plus speed, which is very, very cool. It's very, very strong. But the other ability is what makes him a lot better, which is E, remove the top 2 cards of your deck. If this attack shares a name with a card in your remove from game pile, draw 2 cards. So one of the cooler things we can do is manipulate attacks with this deck, and manipulate our discard pile and stuff like that, which I try to do, especially in more of a budget way. There's the standard Kin deck does a lot of just fast movement, and this deck's still just as fast, but it's more of like basics fast. I'll show you what I mean. So let's get into it. That was Ken. We're getting into the first attack I played, which is the only non-kick. The only non-kick that isn't a combo with the kick in this deck, which is Kintado. I felt like this card was very good for the deck we're playing. It's a first E, replace itself by drawing a card, and then we remove 2 cards for damage or speed, making this a better. So it starts out as a 3/4, and then max becomes a 5/10, which is just nuts, or at least like a 4/7 if we hit 1, which is still very good. And then the other ability is remove 2. Kin's other ability says remove 2, and if you have a copy of this in your remove from game pile, draw 2 more, which means in total this card drew us 3 cards, which means if we have cool combo pieces to go off, we drew into them, and if not, we can build enough to play defense, which is like the way I wanted this card to be. This is what I wanted the card to be. I wanted it to be a draw 3 that said either we're going to go in or we're just going to play defense. And I think that idea worked out very well in the deck. Next, we're playing Stretch Kick. I feel like this card's very good in a basic budget deck with him. It's a 4 low for 4 kick that says if its speed or damage has been if it has received a speed or damage bonus, it gets +2/+2. So like even if they decrease it, as long as you gave it something with Kin, you get to give something else 2/2, which is really cool because like. You can give it like 2/2, and they could like survivalist or like refuse and like drop it below, and then like it still gives 2/2 to something, which is very, very good. So like again, like if you hit both with Kin, it's a 6 for 10, which is just nuts, and gives 2/2 to the next one. Just super good. Next we're playing for Inazuma Kakatogwari. It's a Fury Kick, stun 2, 3 high for 4 with 4 diff. That's Kin's attack. E, remove the top 2 cards of your deck. Your opponent cannot play action cards during this attack, so they're not allowed to play things like Bang, Revoke. They're not allowed to play Stop. They're not allowed to play Prepare to Fight, Templar. They can't play things like Tagora Brothers, stuff like that. They're just not allowed to do it. They're not allowed to play them during this attack. Then E, remove 2 momentum. Your opponent reveals their hand. Choose 1 card, reveal this way, and discard it. I never got to this point. Most of the time, I either killed somebody in 1 turn or died the next turn, so I never got to use this. But the stun 2 is very good. It being a kick with the 2 low block is very good if I ever ran into anything that played low attacks. And just being a 3 high for 4 that gets pumped by Ken is just very good too. Then the last kick in the deck, Kurobushi Kick. This is like his best attack in his set. It's a 4 with a 4 high for 3. Kick. You remove the top card of your deck. Your opponent must lose 2 vitality to block as an additional cost to block with a mid block. So they're not allowed to block mid, or they lose 2 in general. So that means if they're partialing, they're going to lose 2 more. And then E, remove the top card of your deck. This deck is +1 damage for each attack in your remove from game pile. And seeing as we remove a bunch of cards with Ken, like this just stacks damage for free. Which means like this can sometimes get up to like 15 damage for no reason and just kills people. Which is also like kind of the main way we try to kill somebody is with Kurobushi Kick. The other attack we're playing is Violent Shoryuken. This is the rare I splurged on for the deck. These were $2 a piece, making 8, which means the entire deck is $32. Is $22 outside of these, which to me was also very funny. But it's a 3 high for 4 punch, but it combos with all of our kicks. Combo E, remove 2 cards from your discard pile. This attack gets +1 speed, +3 damage for each attack removed. So basically, after our attacks are on our discard pile, most of the time we don't want them anyways. So you get rid of the attacks. Most of the time you try to choose either copies of something you haven't removed yet, or copies of itself, or copies of Ken's Hado, just because it doesn't combo with our deck after we use them and all. But you basically give 2/6 with this, making it a 5 for 10. And then if you get lucky and hit 2 with Ken, you make it a 7 for 16, which is just nuts. Or sorry, 7 for 16? Yeah, 7 for 16, which is just nuts. And then the other ability is E, remove 1 momentum. Add 1 card from your discard pile to your hand. I got to use that ability once during our matches. That ability is very good. Most of the time you like pick up Kurobushi Kick. But just removing an attack adds to Kurobushi Kick, and picking up Kurobushi Kick means you get to remove more cards. And just being able to drop this on somebody, and then if they do want to, and if they have to block it, Kurobushi Kick just comes in and kills them anyways. Like it's just rough. Onto the foundations. We're playing 4 Wishing Ward. It's just a momentum hate, discard hate, as well as just a nice spam with a 3 high block. We're playing 4 Azure Nightmare. This lets us discard cards from our hand that we draw with Ken to ready it, as well as just being a spam, as well as being a 6 to make sure we pass things, as well as being a cool high block. I'm going to say cool high block a lot, but it protects us from stun. It protects us from getting breakered. It just lets us go in a lot harder. We're playing 3 Police Connections. This card's very good. Just protects us from like hunting for spiders. Protects us from anything that would flip. Commander of the Outworlds, which during this format was a very actually prevalent card just because of the format's common busters, basically. 1 Presidente on the house. Gonna be honest, I don't remember this being in my deck list, so it might change the price. Put the price here. I'm pretty sure it's just supposed to be a 4th Police Connections, and when Tam pulled this deck out, accidentally pulled it like this out of the box, out of our collection box, so it ended up being 1 Presidente. Oddly enough, I'm fine with this being in the deck. The Breaker 1 3 high block that also says I can get free 2 damage by removing cards I don't care about was also very good for the deck. Just happens to be that way. I would still rather have the Police Connections just because of the fact of I wanted it for the spam as well as the protection, and the 6 check. But you know, it worked out. Next, we're playing 3 Unhealthy Diet. This one's just very good. It prevents life gain as well as just being able to discard cards to give us more speed. It's a 4 check, but sometimes you gotta kind of have to risk that. It's very, very good just to make sure we get cards in our discard pile to do things with. Next, we're playing 4 Folktale. Lets us be aggressive and build more, as well as being a cool low block that moves. It's just a cool card that mills more cards out of our deck. Milling's gonna become a very cool part of our deck. You'll see when we get to the end. We're playing 4 Second Saintly Beast. Remember, guys, prices are gonna be here for those. It's an E. Once per turn, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. This deck gets +2 or -2 speed. It's very good, again, for defense and offense, which is very good. Mills our deck, which gets to the point we want. And then Deadlock E, your opponent flips 1 foundation. We never went to Deadlock with this deck. You never will, probably. But just in case, there is that Deadlock pressure. Next, we're playing Not Over Until You Die. You'll never use this card to block with because of its 5 high block. But you get to add a card from your discard pile to the top of your deck, which means you can then remove it with Kin to give stats. So it's like confirming that you have a free +1/+3, which is very good. And then First Form Commit If you have at least 2 attacks in your discard and you're removed from game pile, draw 1 card, which makes us an 8-hander, which is also very good. Next, we're playing 4 I Feel Violent. It has a Deadlock Breaker 3 again. You're never going to see it at Deadlock. You never matter. It has a 2 low block, which is good. We need to cover more lows. I have a lot of highs, but not a lot of lows. E Flip. This attack gets +1 speed for each attack you remove from game pile. Maximum of 4. So you give 4 speed to something because you remove cards from the game because you did your character's thing, which is very good. As well as it forces your opponent not to be able to make cards leave their card pool. I never used this card for that other ability. I had a couple of chances to, and I just chose not to. But giving speed to something you have a billion damage on is very good. Same reason why we play Marshall Banana. This gives +X damage, maximum of 5, X equaling the number of attacks removed. So basically, you remove a bunch of attacks and then give a bunch of damage. It's just really good. More speed and more damage means we kill faster. And then the reason I was saying that milling cards and removing cards is very good for us. We're playing 4 Hellward Bound. Hellward Bound is very good. We mainly play it for the E remove. Your attack gets +3 speed, +6 damage. Only playable if you have at least 10 cards you remove from game pile, and you have no cards in your discard pile. So basically, the idea of the deck is to remove, end up using our last card to remove itself from the game, and then shuffling out, removing the top 10, confirming that we have at least 10 for the ability. So basically, like, you have all your cards you've been moving for Ken. You remove your last 2 in your deck. You remove your last 2 in your deck for Ken's ability. You shuffle your deck, yada yada, whatever. Then you remove your 10 for that. And then you go Hellward Bound. I'll give my attack 3/6. Oh, did I have multiples? I'll give Hellward Bound. I'll give 3/6, 3/6, 3/6. And that's not counting if you have anything from Ken. That's not counting if one of them was, wow, I put them over here. That's sick. One of them was a Violent Shoryuken. That's not counting if they got a speed bonus from your stretch kicks, speed bonus from Unhealthy Diet, anything from your, from our, where did I put them away? Anything from like Marshall Banana, I Feel Violent. It just stacks on top. It doesn't even count if like it's a Kurobushi kick that you gave it to. Like it kills people. Having Hellward Bound just kind of kills people sometimes. Thanks again for checking out the profile, guys. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com/TCGU University. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel for this video if you like the content. Remember, shout-outs to Rochester CCG for all the cool collab stuff we're doing with this. If you guys want to see other things in the future, let us know. I really enjoy this and would love to do some more of these in the future. Remember, they're going to be one-click buys down in the either description or there's going to be on the Rochester site itself, so look out for those. And as always, guys, stay learned.